Yes.
Well, I'm ready to ask. Now the moment you've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Please give a warm welcome to Tommy Robinson. I'll start with Gandhi. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Might have got a bit red when I walked in here, but I certainly felt like I was winning. I'll thank the Danish Free Press Society for inviting me here. I first met Lars Hedegaard when I first started the English Defence League, going back to 2009. And one bit of advice he gave me, he said, Tommy, never change. Do not wear a suit. So Lars, sorry, I'm in Parliament, so I thought today I'd put a suit on. I'd also like to thank Marie. I think I can imagine the pressure. I was invited to talk in Czech Parliament, and it was an event like this, and they cancelled it on the morning due to the pressure that the politicians were getting. So I'd like to thank you for being brave and showing courage for free speech here in Denmark. As a sign, the cost of freedom. What is freedom? We hear so much about free speech. It's not free. Millions have died fighting for it. It's been passed down to us from previous generations who have sacrificed so much. Right now, we are surrendering our freedoms across Europe. We're losing our freedoms. Silicon Valley, the alliance of globalists, Islamists and the far left are taking away our free speech. If you ask the people of Iran how it feels not to be free, ask the people of Hong Kong, we have a gift and we don't realise what it is that we've been given. And we're giving it away bit by bit. For me, freedom of speech is freedom to speak and act without restraint or interference. There's even a Universal Declaration of Human Rights that says everyone has the right to freedom of speech and expression. For me, the fundamental right is the right to criticise ideas. That is a freedom. That is free society. I'll bring some more iconic quotes, because these quotes are so relevant right now where we are. Benjamin Franklin, whoever will overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freedoms of speech. George Orwell, if liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. And George Washington, if freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. I want to start off on my beliefs. A lot of people talk about my beliefs. What are my beliefs? I've always been true to myself. I've never wavered in what I stand for. I'm against radical Islam. I'm against the Islamisation of my town, of my country, and of Europe. I've been very clear about this from the start. I first started my activism in 2009. I'd grown up in a town. When I was born in 1982, we had one mosque. We now have 30. It was a launch pad for the 7/7 bomb plot, the fertiliser bomb plot, the Stockholm bomb. The list goes on and on. I'd grown up in that town. I'd also witnessed the impact. It is gangs of Muslims taking young English girls and torturing them and fear. I saw the inability to talk about these issues. I watched as police allowed it to happen. Everyone would look around. Like many people now, you look around. I started asking questions publicly that people were scared to ask. Instantly, I was accused of racism. 10 years ago, when I spoke about viewing gangs and the epidemic and the torture, I was laughed at, I was ignored. Now, it's accepted by the masses and discussed by academics. academics with a better education than me, who went to a better school than me, who talk a lot posher than me. Maybe I was 10 years ahead of the curve because I grew up around it. Maybe if we didn't form the English Defence League and put it on the world stage and scream in towns and cities about protecting our kids, maybe now people would still be too scared to talk about it. When you raise questions that challenge the establishment, it's not very well received by those who want to control how people think. I instantly felt the full force of the establishment. The weaponisation of the media, that's something I want to talk about today. I hope there's some journalists in here. But I want to talk about the weaponisation and the use of the media. I want to talk you through my journey. I want to talk about the erosion of my speech and the destruction of what I see as our free society. I want to show you with evidence the tactics used to remove the freedoms that millions have died for. The lies that have been put against me by the media over the last 10 years are no different to Nazi Germany. On that point, and some people may raise an eyebrow, I want to give a quote that was attributed to Joseph Goebbels. A lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. Right now I'm going to show you the newspaper article. This article, EDL not far right, says police extremism chief. Okay? In Scotland Yard we have the National Extremism Union. Now their job is to categorise organisations, centre, left, far left, extreme left, right, far right, and so on. The entire time I led the English Defence League, it was categorised by the experts as a centrist organisation. Although many of you wouldn't have known that, would you? Because of the labelling of far right, as I say. The head of the Domestic Extremism Unit, let me quote him. His name was Tudway. In terms of the position with the EDL, the original stance stands they are not an extreme right-wing group. The present particular challenge to us constitutionally, as they are not an extreme right-wing organisation. On the one hand, they are seen by many as the single biggest threat to community cohesion, but they are most certainly not an extreme right-wing organisation. The significance of the far right should not be overplayed. The media have told people, not 1,000 times, 100,000 times, that the English Defence League was a far-right organisation, that I was far-right, that we are all far-right. I took 5 minutes to look at the Danish People's Party, known by academics as a right-wing organisation, by the international media as a far-right party. The labelling, the stigma, continually called far-right, continually called racist. I learned very quickly about the media. I would travel to a demonstration with a group of 50 of my friends, many of whom were not white. We would do interviews. At every single English Defence League demonstration from the day we started, a non-white person gave a speech. The media never showed that. Now I watched as the media would label, and what they would do is take a still photo of the angriest, bald-headed looking person that they could find. I realised very quickly the media were not there to report the truth. It was a learning curve for me. The biggest wake-up call come for me in the English Defence League demonstration in Birmingham. We held a demonstration where a local Muslim politician called Salma Yaqub whipped up a frenzy from her community, telling them that Nazis had come to their town. Muslim gangs come out wearing balaclavas and they violently attacked whoever was not Muslim. There was one boy who was savagely beaten and robbed. He wasn't with us. He was an innocent young English boy walking down the streets. I saw this picture in a national newspaper. Underneath that picture, it read, "A fascist attacked by anti-fascists." I realised very quickly, an innocent young English man being robbed by a racist gang of Muslims is now described, they're the victim somehow in this. Now, I want to start by going back. I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you through a journey of mainstream media lies and manipulation and deceit. And I want to start, I'll show you a headline, and this will become a common theme. You can see the headline. EDL thug Stephen Lennon in Tulisa kidnap probe. Tulisa was a pop star in our country, a very popular pop star. At the time of this, she was sitting on the panel as a judge on X Factor, Simon Cowell's X Factor. Now, guess what? That's a lie. Yeah? Everyone knows and follows me, I record everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you the video in a minute from what this story comes from. But the realisation for me, that was 6 weeks after this incident, 6 national newspapers on a Sunday all run with this story. Okay, at the same time. Usually a newspaper gets a story, they run it and the others pick up on it. This broke at 6 national newspapers at the same time. This story was organised and pushed out with an agenda. Let me show you the video of actually what this was about.
Right, what's just happening?
We're pulled over because we're looking for somewhere convenient to do a very quick 3-minute video to discuss about this charity walk I'm doing there to try and raise money because the police have given me this ridiculous fine that I've got to pay and they've took all my money. Anyway. No,
we're not talking about that.
We're talking about real police.
Should we do the interview? Do you want to get in the interview as well?
So basically what's happened is these officers have turned up.
Yeah.
I've explained to them what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Clearly told them what I'm doing. They know who I am, they've checked who I am. They've seen we've got a camera and we're clearly doing video work. They then proceeded to say they believe I've come equipped to burgle a house. They then searched our cars. They've violated me and put their hands in my pockets and took my money out and done all this and gave me this very pretty yellow bit of paper. To which point then I've been done for quitting, which is they pulled me over, but because I've left my door open with the keys in the ignition, I've then been reported for another crime, for quitting. I can't keep it straight away. And the whole time, more and more police cars have been turning up. The top boss has come from the police station down here. All we're doing is made a 3-minute video. We've committed no crime. So, no mention of Talisa, no kidnap, okay? But for me, it was a realisation of how the media were being used. Because anyone who read the Sunday newspaper has read that I was planning on kidnapping a pop star, okay? And this has become a common theme as we go through. In that video, I'm talking about a charity walk. I was planning a charity walk. Shortly after this video, I'd done a charity walk with my cousin Kevin Carroll. I want to show you the news report of that charity walk.
It's close under mosque, the police closed in. But it was a scuffle with 2 men that brought things to a head. One in a blue shirt, the other in a red jacket, told them they weren't wanted in the area. As a police officer filmed proceedings, Kevin Carroll claimed he was punched, and then he appeared to retaliate. Tommy Robinson looked on from the sidelines.
Now, during this charity walk, I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to watch the video. But first of all, let's look at this screen. This is the image that Channel 4 News, who were videoing this entire incident. When do they use stills when they've got the video footage of the actual incident? They had to use stills to make it look like Kevin Carroll or we were the aggressors somehow in this incident. If you actually watch the video, as we're doing a charity walk, you'll see the police step back, then 2 plain-clothed gentlemen allowed to walk in with us. Behind, you'll see one of the gentlemen elbow me. I'm supposed to react, I don't react. And then you'll see what happens with the police. Now, they showed this video.
If there's tensions in the community from the violent mob, shouldn't we be dealing with the violent mob? How far back should we have just fucking get it! It's all on camera, so I'm arrested for assault. The violent fascist left. Keep walking! Keep walking! The violent fascist left. Recording now, I'm going to speak to you. Who's been violent? Right, listen. You're going to get these 2 nutters. How come he hasn't been handcuffed? How come he hasn't been handcuffed? How come he hasn't been handcuffed? If we'd have hit him, he'd be handcuffed. How come he hasn't been Yeah, but anyone actually. Why is he still standing there? Why has he not been arrested for just smacking him in the face? What is going on? Why is he? Tell us why he's not been arrested. He's not been arrested. He's just assaulted someone. Can you tell us why you're not arrested? Tell us we can't walk somewhere. They're just assaulted. You're not going to arrest me. No. You're in the car. Unless you're going to nick Mr. Walton. Unless you're going to nick him for assaulting us. Are you going to arrest him? Are you going to arrest him for assaulting? You're not, are you? How can you not enforce the law when someone's just assaulted someone? Can you listen to the officer here? We're doing a charity walk. You're not going to arrest him for assaulting. We're doing a charity walk. How are you not arrested? How are you not arrested? We've just been assaulted. The man that's still standing there, look.
cases over that before it was kicked out. The two men who had caused the assault, neither were arrested. Okay? Now, Channel 4 News videoed all of that, but they froze the image of Kevin Carroll to show, and what I realised from this was the power of social media. I realised the power of YouTube. This video had 1 million views in a week, where people saw we'd done nothing, saw we were prosecuted, saw we had court, and we'd done nothing wrong. I'd seen lies and lies and lies told about us. I looked at one newspaper, Trinity Mirror owned this newspaper. Okay? Trinity Mirror own every newspaper that's local in the UK. So they don't just control national media, they control most towns and cities. They continually put out articles with lies about it. So I decided to ring one of them up, and at least he was honest with what he said.
I just thought common journalism would be that if you have a story, you'd contact the counterpart where they're making allegations against in order to give him a right to reply to what happened in that meeting.
Yeah.
Is that, am I right?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, when we go from the Birmingham angle here, we're talking to Birmingham people about their response to a sort of national figure coming into the area, so we wouldn't necessarily treat that. We do have an editorial line that, we don't agree with your policy.
So we do have an editorial line that we don't agree with your politics. So that become very clear. See, originally I thought the media were there just to be neutral, impartial, and report the news. I found out very quickly that wasn't the case. The continued labelling of far-right, of Nazi and extremists, I decided to challenge some of these reporters. Hi, Jack. My name's Tommy Robinson. You've made an accusation against me that I'm far-right. Could you please justify that accusation?
No.
You've spread facades and lies about me, so I just want you to justify that. That's it. How am I far-right?
I'm not going to be doing any interviews today, I'm afraid.
You can't answer how I'm far-right. Simple. That's it, Jack. Simple. I just want to know how I'm far-right. Can you answer how I'm far-right?
I'm not doing anything today.
I'm not going to let this go. I want to know. You can't run stories saying I'm far-right and I'm far-right. Just justify your accusation, please. Just justify your accusation, please, Jack. Now, for me, I despise the far-right, okay? So to be continually labelled, just because, I'll ask again, what are my beliefs, what have I done? I speak out against Islamic extremism. And it wasn't just about me being labelled, it was about every person like me who's being labelled, categorised, put in a pigeon box as an extremist. But then I saw that one journalist who worked for a government-funded anti-extremism think tank took it a step too far. Far-right's a step too far, but she labelled me as a white supremacist. She put me in the same category as terrorists. So I went to ask her how she can justify that. This is the article, and as I've done, in this article I'm labelled as a white supremacist. And just as I said each time, guess what? It's a total lie. Here I am going to see it.
I'm going to an organisation called Quilliam, and the reason I'm going there is one of their leading researchers, a lady called Julia. She wrote an article yesterday in The Guardian where she declares I'm a white supremacist. Oh. Hi, how are you doing? Julia? Hi. Do you mind if I ask how I'm a white supremacist?
I did not say that you are a white supremacist, and no, I did not say that. You can read the exact article.
Why are you trying to break the camera? Why are you trying to break the camera? Why are you trying to break the camera? Why are you trying to break the camera?
This actually blew up in the UK, and the next day I was invited. This was when I first started working for Ezra Levant Media. I learned a lot, and this blew up. I was invited to a TV show the next day. Andrew Neil.
Rashford, and Chief Executive of Quilliam, joins us now, as does Tommy Robinson. Mr. Robinson, let me come to you first. I mean, you often complain that you're portrayed as much more extreme than you say you are. But do you think bursting into an office like that and ending up in a bit of a fracas helps in the kind of image you want to portray?
The doors were open, I was very polite, I walked in with one cameraman and asked a simple question. Now bearing in mind that the lady in her article had called me a white supremacist, in the last 2 weeks I've had to go to 4 different companies' premises who have all run headlines that are complete lies. And for me, this isn't just about me, this is about people who support me, it's about working class people at home who have been pigeonholed as extremists, as racist, as far right, when they're not. They're genuine concerns and fears.
On this Guardian comment piece, you effectively did call them white supremacists.
Let me clarify something now. The Quilliam position on Tommy whether he's a white supremacist or not. Quilliam and I, and Tommy knows me, he's been to my house, he's had dinner with my family, he knows I'm not somebody who has a vendetta against him, and he knows actually what I stand for, so I'm surprised that as Chief Executive says Quilliam stands for something else. But Tommy is not a white supremacist. The Quilliam position is not that Tommy is a white supremacist. Now, coming to the article, an article was written by somebody, I wasn't aware of researcher. Article written by somebody, the process needs to be changed that I vet everything now, from now on.
Did you not vet this?
No, I didn't.
Well, thanks for that harass, but I'm sorry, the damage has been done. Anyone that read that newspaper, anyone that read the online article, which is still online, has been told I'm a white supremacist. A total lie. I realised at this point the power, again, of social media. I made my video where I went in there, I counteracted their lie, and I showed the public they're lying. I'm not a white supremacist. People are being told lies about me. And my social media was successful in highlighting these lies. People started seeing through and questioning everything they'd been told. I had the most engaged Facebook page in Britain. I had more engagement than the three leading political parties put together on my Facebook page. Okay? I had a reach that politicians could only dream of. I had 2 million social media followers. In one 4-week period, 49 million people watched my videos and 172 million people read my tweets. I had many comments from people who said, Tommy, I thought you was a Nazi. I realised I've been lied to. What would the establishment's answer be to this embarrassment? Eventually to remove me, but before we get there, I want to start with the independent newspaper in the UK, or the not so independent newspaper in the UK. 30% ownership by Saudi Arabia. If you look, from when Saudi Arabia put their money into the Independent, just months later, one of their journalists, Lizzie Dearden, become obsessed by me. And 212 since 2018. Lizzie Dearden has never met me. She's never ever spoken to me. She's never asked me a question. This is not journalism. Let's stop calling them journalists and call them what they are. She's a Saudi-funded activist. Now, a terrorist attack by a man called Darren Osborne in the UK. He committed a terrorist attack. My name was not involved or mentioned at all. And on the opening day of his court trial, Lizzie Dearden was live tweeting from court. Let me show you the headline. Tommy Robinson sent direct Twitter messages to far-right terrorist suspect. Next one. Attacker got Twitter DMs from Tommy Robinson days before the attack. This implies I know Darren Osborne, it implies I'm linked to him, and it says I messaged him from Twitter. Well, guess what? It's a total lie. Getting the electronic version of the court transcripts. I've done this because I needed to know who lied. Because to follow, anyone who understands social media, to direct message someone on Twitter, you have to follow them. So this would mean that I followed Darren Osborne, which would mean that I knew Darren Osborne, or I had some sort of relation. This story went around the world. Let's get the court transcripts up. Let's do a couple of word searches. Every word that was said at the trial when she was reporting this is in these court transcripts. Let's just search Tommy Robinson Twitter. No matches, not found. Let's just try searching Twitter. Go through. I'm doing that. So that's Tommy Robinson Twitter, no matches. Now let's just try Twitter. So just the word Twitter. So the word Twitter's not even found. This was a total lie by Lizzie Dearden. From this point on, when Darren Osborne's name was mentioned in any national newspaper, in the end, they didn't even use a picture of him, they just used a picture of me. So a campaign by Saudi-funded Lizzie Dearden then started to remove me from Twitter. At this point, Saudi Arabia have spent £500 million on shares in Twitter. In a short while, I was removed. My profile was closed down on Twitter. The reason they gave was that a tweet that I gave for UK are Muslim men, from a population of just 4%. That is a fact. It's a fact, and it's also a fact that our Home Secretary of the time, who's a Pakistani heritage, called Sajid Javid, had also said. So it's 2018, and facts are now hate speech in the UK. Because I had my Twitter profile removed, I concentrated on Facebook. Going forward now to when I was put in prison for reporting outside a court case. When I reported outside that court case, they were reporting. Now, thanks to the European media, the worldwide media, and the alternative media mainly, they blew this up. So a worldwide movement was formed, a Free Tommy movement, and it was so satisfying for me. 30 to 40,000 people marched on Parliament in the UK. At this point, the mainstream media began doing hit pieces against me. Let me show you the reactions to their hit pieces. This is BBC News' hit piece. If you look at the thumbs up and thumbs down on this video, 18,000 downloads. Let me read you the top rated comments. Your propaganda and lies don't work anymore, BBC. The next one, Tommy went after paedophiles, no wonder the BBC is so scared of him. He's in prison because the establishment and media such as the BBC are full of self-loathing, hypocritical Islamophiles, happy to destroy a man's life and reputation when he dares to go against their narrative. The BBC, the most corrupt in the UK, just as bad as the men he's reporting on. Let's look at Channel 4's hit piece. Again, 18 British public were no longer buying the media lies. Let's look at some of the top comments on Channel 4. Here is what we want you to think, Channel 4 News. How about the fact the sentence that sent Tommy to prison has been illegal? The liberal media labels everyone that sees through their bullshit far right. It's so disgusting already. So, their attempts to destroy my name. Well, I received letters from people in jail saying that this case highlighted me to them. They then started watching my videos, and they haven't stopped. People were then seeing lie after lie, where I had the ability with my social media to counteract their lies and prove them as lies. Let me show you some more headlines. Okay? You see here, I've highlighted where it says pleaded guilty, and the next one, he pleaded guilty, and the next one, he pleaded guilty, and the next one, he pleaded guilty.
Is Tommy Robinson innocent? No, apparently not. And that's not just the opinion of... When he was brought in front of the judge, he pleaded guilty.
Guess what? It's all a lie, okay? Not one journalist went and got the court transcripts from that day. Anyone who went and got those court transcripts could see clearly the words guilty never come out of my mouth. Let's have a look now at page 5 of the Court of Appeal judgment, when I was freed from prison by the highest judge in the land. This is on the judiciary's website, you can read it yourself. Put to the appellant for him to accept or deny them. It's one of the main reasons I was freed from prison. I wasn't asked if I was guilty or not guilty. I was not told the so-called crime I had committed. I believe that at that time, when they saw the anger and frustration, they wanted to try and quell it and suppress it, so they let people believe, using the weapon of the media, that I had been guilty. I've now been released. As soon as I was released from prison, the attack dogs were out. 2018 in August, Janice Turner wrote an emotional, vindictive character assassination against myself. Look at the word we're going to zoom in on here. Guess what? It's a lie. It's a total lie. The problem I have here is that this is not a tabloid. This is one of the most respected newspapers in the world. This is the newspaper that prime ministers across the world will wake up to on their desks. I decided I can't allow this lie to be told. I'm fed up of these lies. I spent £5,000 again. Let me show you the letter once my solicitors contacted the Times newspaper. As you have stated in your letter following a complaint from your client, the words girlfriend beating were removed from the online version of the article. To bring a claim of libel, an individual needs to meet the requirement of serious harm to reputation. Given your client's reputation generally, we do not consider that your client will be able to meet this requirement. So let me rephrase that. Because we've told continuous lies about your client for the last decade, it doesn't matter what we now say, we can get away with it. I'm sorry, but the damage has been done. I'm out of jail a week, I'm now a girlfriend beater, Robinson, wife beater. $13.5 million results. Let's Google News. 123,000 news results. This is the weapon of the media. An intentional lie, now told as a matter of fact. Let's read a few posts on this. So look at this post, 20,000 likes. Tommy Robinson, convicted criminal, thug, racist, fascist, woman beater. What is it about the xenophobic woman beating Tommy Robinson? Correction, a rich criminal, woman beater. Oh joy, Britain's favourite woman beater. Woman beater. Woman beater, woman beater. You see where this has gone. Tommy Robinson, woman beater, woman beater, woman beater. It goes on and on and on. Anyone can do this, okay? Let me introduce you now to another mainstream figure in British TV. His name, just getting through my screenshots, got so many. His name is Matthew Wright. He hosts a TV day show. Just so you can see who he is.
Not a lot to say, really, other than the fact
that you're a liar. Other than the fact that you're a liar, Matthew, that's all we've got to say. Because here's your screenshot. Wife beating, drug dealing. He's using his platform on social media as a mainstream British TV journalist to tell the country and his followers that he's not content with the Nazi, racist, thug, extremist. He's added in the lie of wife beating, but now he's added in the lie of drug dealing as well. I'm out of jail a week, and the whole world's been told this. I then get contacted by Sky News. Let me show you a headline. Tommy Robinson, I don't care if I incite fear of Muslims. Now when I was contacted by Sky News, I know the media agenda. I know they're not there to report the truth. People would say foolishly, why do you even talk to them? I talked to them to expose them. I went and met Jason Farrell. And you see this headline again, guess what? It's a total lie. I went and met Jason Farrell. Let's see where the headline went. It went Russia. It went around the world. Okay? Let me actually show you in my video, because I undercover secretly and distorted what I said. I could show the public. So let's watch the video of what I was creating an educational video to be shown in schools to warn children about these crimes. When they tried to show that in Britain, in 2007, the British establishment would not allow that video to be shown because, like you just know, all incite racial hatred. So because of people with...
It's going to incite fear to suggest that when you also know that there are, like the group in Bristol, white paedophiles,
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I don't care if it incites fear, so long as it educates the children and prevents them being raped. So as you can see there, I'm talking about a video that's an educational video. I say I don't care if it incites fear. Now watch the voiceover Jason Farrell puts on his news piece that he put out to the world, where he asks a completely different question that he never even asked me, and he cuts in my answer.
On grooming gangs, risks demonising an entire community.
Do you know what? Care if it incites fear, so long as it educates the children and prevents them being raped. Now, let's just go back again and look at the headline. I don't care if I incite fear of Muslims. The word was it, not I, and it was incite, not incite. They just got rid of the T and the S and completely changed the context of what I was talking about. This story went across the world. Now again, using my social media, I show people carefully what they've done. This interview We have a system in the UK called Ofcom, where people complain about problems they see or things they see wrong on TV. This is the most complained about interview in a decade in the UK. It's the fourth most complained about at all. Many TV shows in the last 10 years. And complaining doesn't do anything because Jason Farrell is still running around making fake news. Now, whilst I was in prison, Panorama, which is the flagship show of the BBC, the weapon of the establishment, the BBC, but Panorama is known as being truthful, investigative journalism. I've been called a racist, I've been called an extremist, they've tried every lie, they've imprisoned me, nothing's worked. My profile has exploded, I now have more support than I've ever had. So they were working on a hatchet plan for all. The ironic thing is that Panorama are known for undercover journalism. We went undercover on Panorama. I hope you've seen the documentaries called Panorama, but let's just show you a little couple of clips from that.
I'll do that. It's only audio. It's only audio.
That's fine. How angry did he get?
He gets really angry and then he runs away and gets in the car and drives off. And I shout after the car. It's really bad.
We can clip that bit. We can clip that bit. We can clip that bit. My view about that is that he's doing a kind of a kind of gender, a kind of sexual thing against the person I was talking to was worried about whether she would be identified. Now clearly that tape is now in your hands, so it would seem that she's working something. You said it was a clip. No. You said it was a clip. What implications? You tried to turn normal argument into a sexual matter. Initially, you're not taking it. Do you understand the implications? I've got 3 children. You think we destroy man's life? Because this is what you were planning on doing. I've got the evidence. You misunderstand me. So what I was trying to do was to say to that source that it necessarily would change her gender. So, for example, into a man. Well, that's positive. So you don't realise I've got all of this text. John says I'm misrepresenting him, and in fact he was telling her he could change her gender so she could not be identified. Let's just hear that clip again. He's doing a kind of gender, a kind of sexual thing against
we can do a kind of gender, a sexual thing against Tommy Robinson. Nice try, John.
We should not present invented material as facts or knowingly do anything to mislead our audiences.
The BBC, the biased broadcasting corporation. Fake news, everything people had suspected. Donald Trump had called them out for their fake news. Now I've only showed you snippets from the dirt we got on John Sweeney and Panorama. But they've been called out. Millions watched this documentary in the first 24 hours. The true level of the corruption of our media was shown from this. Not from John Sweeney, but from the fact that not one single journalist in my country reported this news. Not one of them even passed a comment on this news. You had John Sweeney, who is the face of the biggest programme in British investigative journalism, being proven as being a fraud. Making up, he was going to make me into Harvey Weinstein. That's what they were planning on doing. So nothing else had worked. This was their hit job. Only they'd had the carpet pulled from underneath. Okay? But one journalist reports it. Within 24 hours of this documentary, I'm deleted from Facebook. Let me read this to you. A post urging people to terrorise and behead those who follow the Quran. Again, this went worldwide. You've all seen the media obsession with myself and comments I make. Someone please show me where the screenshots are. If I would have posted anything about beheading anyone, it would have been on every front page newspaper in the world. Okay? There would be evidence of it. There'd be a screenshot of it. Here on Facebook, let's get onto Facebook. That's a total lie. Here, a Danish journalist asked him some questions about these allegations.
So, Ifølge Guardian skyldes det blandt andet, at Tommy Robinson har opfordret på Facebook til at halshugge muslimer. Han siger selv, at han ikke har gjort noget. Hvor kan jeg som journalist tjekke, at I har dokumentation for jeres anklage mod Tommy Robinson?
Ja, altså der er ikke sådan et opslag, som...
There isn't one post, really. Let's look at that. Let's have a little look at what they said in their press statement that went around the entire world. This went on the world's media, okay? A post urging people to terrorise and behead those who follow the Quran. Total lies. Now, this interview with the head of communications actually revealed a lot. It revealed that I'm a designated hate figure. And people can go on Facebook and they can write what they want about me. In fact, using their guidelines, they can encourage murder about me and it will not get deleted. But anyone says one positive word about me, they will be deleted. Now this would seem unbelievable. Only negative stuff can be said about me online. Let's see.
Det er en hård sanktion mod ham. Ham har I udelukket, men det der jo så sker nu, det er, at også folk, der omtaler Tommy Robinson, får fjernet deres opslag, bliver blokeret eller bliver truet med og bliver pillet helt af Facebook. Hvordan hænger det sammen?
Altså vores regler forbyder ikke, at man omtaler Tommy Robinson. Man må godt skrive på, at ham kan man ikke lide, eller at ham synes man er en idiot, som det.
Okay, so I'll ask again explicitly. We have laws in the UK, we have laws across Europe that prevent incitement to hatred. We have criminal laws, and they're good laws, and people should be prevented from inciting violence against people, I believe. But what have I done? What have I been convicted of by a court of law? What is it I believe? My opposition to Islam is what's resulted in this. Literally any mention or publicity around me is removed, as this TV network found out themselves. When they advertised the fact that I would be on there, that they would be discussing me. Not me on there, not promoting me, discussing me.
Jeg vil godt lige holde fast i det, du sagde var et andet spørgsmål. Jeg vil godt lige vise dig et opslag, som min redaktør lavede tidligere i dag. Han skrev på Facebook, i aften skal vi deadline lave noget om Tommy Robinson. Hvad er den bedste artikel om Tommy Robinson, vi skal læse på redaktionen? Der gik 9 minutter, så blev det opslag fjernet. Er det fremmende for sådan forståelsen af et fænomen som Tommy Robinson og muligheden for at tale om den tænkning, han repræsenterer, at sådan et opslag bliver fjernet?
This level of censorship should terrify us all. The control that Silicon Valley now has in controlling how people think. 37 million people in my country have Facebook. It's their main source of news. They're now in control of that. The ability for people to hear the other side of the story, which is what we pride ourselves on, has now gone. Who authorises who can and can't have Facebook? Who is making these decisions? Let's see.
Så hvor kan man gå efter i stedet?
Altså, som sagt, den her konkrete liste er ikke offentlig.
Og det er en liste over dem, der er helt udelukket som Tommy Robinson?
Det er en liste over de personer, hvor vi ud over vores almindelige regler imod hate speech faktisk heller ikke tillader folk at hylde eller støtte dem.
Kan man se den liste?
Nej, det kan man ikke.
Hvor lang er den?
Jamen det ved jeg ikke. Jeg har faktisk heller ikke set den selv.
Står Hitler på den? Står Pol Pot på den?
Jeg ved ikke. Det er som sagt ikke min rolle at være med i alle detaljer omkring de her afgørelser.
Hvem har bestemt, hvem der står på den liste?
Det har det team, vi har, der laver vores politik.
Altså nogle af Facebooks ansatte?
Ja, og det er et arbejde, de udfører i samarbejde med eksterne eksperter, når de har brug for det.
So, external experts, he says. External experts. Let me show you a screenshot now from a Muslim in the UK the day I was removed from Facebook. His name is Mohammed Shafiq. He runs an organisation called the Ramadan Foundation. I can reveal recently I had a meeting with Facebook to discuss Tommy Robinson pages and their impact in brainwashing his supporters to become terrorists and use violence against Muslims. A very good result. I'm proud of my role. Now, Mohammed Shafiq encouraged murder for blasphemy of a true reformist in the UK called Majid Nawaz. Let me show you here's Majid. Majid is, he runs a talk show on LBC radio, he's a very public figure. Because Moshe Shafiq is on the record multiple times praising and hosting those who participated in the anti-blasphemy mob in Pakistan that bade for Christian woman Ezra Levat's death, he also led a blasphemy campaign against me. Here's Moshe Shafiq in the middle, because he was hosting the gentleman on the left. So you understand who the gentleman on the left is. Here's a newspaper article about him. Pakistani hate preacher who glorifies Islamist murder. So the person that Facebook are getting their information off about who they need to ban and not, as an external expert, is a man that welcomes extremist fanatics to our country. A man who has encouraged blasphemy laws, a man who encouraged and glorified the attacks and the calling for the death of Ezra Levant for exercising her free speech. Let me show you now, you've all heard of the grooming scandal in the UK. You've all heard of Rotherham. The main man, the main rapist, the main organiser of that rape epidemic in that town, Mohammed Shafiq's cousin. So Mohammed Shafiq sitting down with Facebook, deciding who can and can't talk on their platform, who do they want rid of, or who's got rid of, the person who brings the most attention to grooming scandals. Now, the British establishment, I believe, they looked and they saw the power we had through Facebook, through social media. Nick Clegg was a Deputy Prime Minister of the UK. He left his position of power and he became in charge of European communication for Facebook. The British establishment are now at the top of the social media company, a private business. Let me just show you who Nick Clegg is. I'll show you a quick video just to see the level of deception from him. We have a term in Islam called kitman. It's deception by omission. It's where you omit certain verses or facts in order to deceive the public. Listen to Nick Clegg. This was after the beheading of soldier Fusilier Lee Rigby on the streets of London.
Terrorism has no religion, because there is no religious conviction that can justify the kind of arbitrary, savage, random violence that we saw on the streets of Woolwich. So thank you for speaking out as forcefully as you have done. Thank you for speaking out as clearly as you have done for a great salvation religion, for your faith and for the communities in which you live and in which you lead. And in that spirit, I would like to simply conclude by repeating a verse from the Holy Quran, verse 32, chapter 5. If anyone kills a human being, it shall be as though he killed all mankind. Whereas if anyone saves a life, it shall be as though he saved the whole of mankind. Thank you very much.
We hear the argument so much about context. Let me put that verse into context. If you carry on reading, straight after that verse, it says, if you kill one man, you kill all of humanity. If you save one life, you save all of humanity. Unless they cause mischief, then you execute them. You cut off their hands and feet and you exile them from the lands. The exact verse that Lee Rigby's murderer quoted was that Lee Rigby had caused mischief. And here was the Deputy Prime Minister of our country. Now, in this room at that time was Mohammed Shafiq, present with Nick Clegg. So, I'm removed from Facebook for a total lie after an extremist has meetings with them. Let's see who is allowed Facebook. The Muslim Brotherhood. That's a terrorist organisation, responsible for the torture and death and persecution of many. So terrorist organisations, so let's not kid ourselves that people are being removed and blacklisted from Facebook for anything to do with hate speech laws. This is control. This is removing dissident voices, removing anyone that's highlighting problems that the establishment have. Terrorists can have a page. Let's see just how Facebook view myself.
Altså, han er på, vi betragter ham på den måde som en person på linje med Ratko Mladic. Altså folk som
han er dømt krigsforbryder, han er faktisk dømt for folkedrab. Det er Tommy Robinson.
I'm in the category with war criminals. There's 6,500 graves of the man that killed. That's how many people he killed. There's the coffins of more people that he butchered. I'm in that category. Again, I'll ask you, what is it I've done? What have I done? We're now literally burning books, okay? Amazon bans book by Tommy Robinson off of their website. My book, Muhammad's Quran, Why Muslims Kill for Islam, where I put the Quran in context, I put it in its chronological order, and I give evidence to why it is a war manual, why it's not a book of peace. So my book's removed. Let's have a look what you can buy on Amazon. Look how many different translations of Hitler's book there are. Tommy Robinson's banned, but Hitler, he's got nothing on Tommy Robinson according to the globalist. YouTube is now my only avenue for reaching the public to counter the lies being told. But of course, governments will put pressure on YouTube, as you'll see here. This is the CEO of YouTube, summons by my government.
Your algorithms on YouTube, when you are searching for national action, will then promote the likes of Tommy Robinson and Britain First. This is despite the fact that the Finsbury Park Mosque, where somebody was killed, and that's recently been a headline, despite the fact that videos of Tommy Robinson were cited as part of the online radicalisation of Darren Osborne in the Finsbury Park court case, YouTube continues to promote them videos.
Lies, lies, lies. That's Nashar. Nashar actually retweeted a post that said the victims of grooming need to keep their mouth shut for the sake of diversity. Just so we know who that politician is, okay? That's Nashar, Pakistani Muslim from Bradford. Here she is putting pressure on the British government about my videos. It's not just her.
The first two videos recommended to me by YouTube, when I just click on, as I've just done this afternoon, I click onto YouTube, the first two recommendations are Tommy Robinson videos. So the Tommy Robinson that was identified as part of the Finsbury Park online radicalisation process, that's what YouTube's recommended. I've not searched for it. YouTube has recommended that to me. Doesn't that cause you some serious alarm?
You should have watched the videos, love. You might have learned something. In the sense of the Darren Osborne murder trial, I was not questioned, interviewed, mentioned at all, okay? This is, Darren Osborne gave the reasons why he committed that terrorist attack. He gave his justification, he gave his reasons, he explained what radicalised him. Guess what? He didn't mention Tommy Robinson. Let me show you just one final politician here.
With regards to the tragic and horrific incident at Finsbury Park Mosque, the violent act carried out by Darren Osborne, and the following judgment given by Mrs. Justice Chima to say the short time between seeing the material, being radicalised and carrying out a violent terrorist incident, that the individual had in part been radicalised by seeing material by Tommy Robinson. Your experience, you've worked at the State Department advising on extremism. I've seen you've written a number of books, you've been at a number of think tanks. The material, the vile material put out by Tommy Robinson, just in the question earlier that you raised about your policy and your criteria, does his vile poison material online violate your policy criteria?
I can say in general that hateful content can create an atmosphere that can lead people to radicalize. Whether his specific statements fall foul of our guidelines or not, I cannot tell you without looking at the specific content.
Now, the truth is not hate. So, he talks about my vile, poisonous. Anyone who's labelled these things over the years, anyone I confront, they don't have an answer. If I said to him, point to me, show me the video that was poisonous, show me. He wouldn't be able to. So let's see what YouTube's stance was on this. YouTube defends decision to keep Tommy Robinson on site. They said that none of my videos went against their policies. Not a single video. INSEP's Britain's Culture Secretary, who's part of the Conservative government, and he puts his pressure. YouTube must reconsider judgment on Tommy Robinson's video, says Culture Secretary. Culture Secretary. England's Bill of Rights in 1689. Since 1689, says that everyone has the right to free speech. Okay? It's embedded in our culture, free speech. Yet here's our culture secretary trying to take away the free speech of one of his citizens with no wrongdoing, no criminal act, not convicted, not charged with anything. Just my opinion doesn't fit. It's not just the Conservative government. Let's have a look at, this is the opposition, the second in place of the opposition, Tom Watson. I have written to Google CEO, calling on him as a matter of urgency to remove Tommy Robinson. Okay? With again a statement that has no evidence of anything. This is government pressure on private business multiple times to remove a dissenting voice. This is fascism. This all happened in a 7-day period after I produced a documentary that categorically showed the world that the BBC is fake news. At this same time, in this 7-day period, the Attorney General recharged me for the offence I'd already been acquitted of and released from prison. Now, so Panorama got me deleted from the world. I've been invisible ever since. I was getting hit from all angles. My profile was still rising. If you look at it, I've been out of prison a week. I'm a woman beater. I don't care if I incite the fear of Muslims, and I have not any social media left. Now, when I exposed John Sweeney, there was a total media blackout. In fact, I met with a Telegraph newspaper, a journalist there who I've come to know. He came to meet me, I showed him the undercover footage. He was all excited about how big of a news story it was. He went back to see his editor. He contacted me and said, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to report it. Again, it's not journalism. Blanket bans, media bans, hiding the reality, the proof that the BBC are being used. Tax-funded BBC are being used. Let me show you a screenshot of John Sweeney, who by this time now has been fired from the BBC. Okay? He lost his job. And when he lost his job, he made this video. He said, Tommy Robinson makes out he's a great British patriot, but look what he said in Moravia. Here's a 1-minute film, Tommy Robinson and the Adolf Hitler Appreciation Society. Let's watch that video.
The other day on Twitter, I called Tommy Robinson a complete No, on reflection, I think I got that wrong, and I'd like to Robinson there with the Adolf Hitler Appreciation Society in Bavaria. Now, if I was still at the BBC, I have to weigh my words very carefully about what I think about that evidence, but I've left. So, Tommy Robinson, I was wrong to call you a complete the other day. You're a Nazi. That's who you are. These are not the views of the BBC.
I don't think he took my expose too well, do you? Now, so he's left the BBC, but let's see who promotes this video. Okay, massive social media following. Danny Wallace, another journalist. This is your finest ever tweet. This is promoting this video of fake news he made. Now, Harry Cole is the editor of the Sunday Mail, the biggest news. This is another journalist who... Now, let me explain to you where I was. This is Compact Magazine. Compact Magazine is an online magazine, and in Germany, it's a mainstream magazine. There's the video on their YouTube channel to prove it was their event. Not an Adolf Hitler Appreciation Society, a mainstream media. It would be like me coming here. What he's done is he cut and edited things and made it look like something it's not. So let's watch what he did. Listen carefully for when the applause and the clapping starts on John Sweeney's fake video. People for too long have lived in the guilt of Adolf Hitler. He took the applause from when I walked in and he edited it straight to when I mentioned Hitler. Watch the real video.
Riesenapplaus für Tommy Robinson.
people for too long have lived in the guilt of Adolf Hitler. Do not live in the guilt of Angela Merkel. She will... The point I was making was that German people should have stopped Adolf Hitler, and many of them now feel guilty for their past. I believe that future generations will feel guilty for what Angela Merkel has done to Europe. And I was saying you need to stop it. That's the point I was making. The only difference now is I have no social media to counteract these lies. So now someone can make a video like this, which is total fabrication. Someone can take your applause as I walked in here and cut it when I mentioned Hitler and put a video saying this is the Adolf Hitler Appreciation Society. That is what he's done. And when he's done it, it's been pushed by all of the elitist journalists across my country. And it's pushed like it's a matter of fact. Let's just play that one more time back to back so you can see again when the applause happens. German people who long have lived in the guilt of Adolf Hitler. Do not live. German people for too long have lived in the guilt of Adolf Hitler. How long have they got away with this for? How many people do they do this to? This isn't just happening to me, okay? This demonisation, this slander and these lies, which is what they are. Let me show you another headline. Tommy Robinson encouraged vigilante action in Facebook Live. Guess what? It's a total lie, okay? Let me show you the news report here.
Heading back to jail. Don't believe everything you read on a t-shirt. Stephen Yaxley Lennon wasn't convicted of journalism. He was found to have interfered.
Do you regret interfering with justice and harassing people?
So today in court he was sentenced to 9 months in prison. He will be out in 2.5. Last year outside Leeds Crown Court sexual exploitation, there were strict temporary rules about reporting to make sure there was a fair trial, but he encouraged people watching to confront them.
Harass him, find him, go knock on his door, follow him. Now again, I watched this from jail, this news report. Now this is what the public are being told. When you watch that, go find people to go find and harass these paedophiles or these Muslim gangs. Let's watch what I'm actually saying. I'm actually talking to the media, and I'm on about the fact that they follow us, they follow all of us, they harass us, they photograph us, they talk about us, they find out where we work, they plaster pictures of us online with lies, and I'm telling them, why don't you do it to this lot? Okay? These men have been raping kids, they've been on bail for 2 years, why don't you follow them? Watch in context what I'm saying. But when I first come to try and show people who these men were, bearing in mind they've been walking around your towns and cities for the last 2 years whilst this has been going on. They've been working in shops, chicken shops, probably driving taxis, etc., etc. I thought people should know their faces and their identities. And when I went last time, you can see the footage, go online, watch it. They turned up with balaclavas, because they've been relaxed. You know why they're relaxed? Because look, there's no media here. There's no media here, there's no press here, there's no mainstream media. They're all taking photographs of someone who said something big on Twitter. They're not here to find out who these people are. They haven't followed these people. You know this lad who runs Generation Identity? I found out that the media had been harassing his family. Yeah? You want to harass someone's family? You see that man who was getting aggressive, rape, prostitution? Harass him. Find him. Go knock on his door. Follow him. See where he works. See what he's doing. You want to stick pictures online and call people and slander people? How about you do it about them? Instead of do it about someone speaking about them. Very clearly, I'm talking to the media, okay, about their hypocrisy in their reporting. But again, the story that's gone all around the whole country is that I was encouraging violent vigilante attacks against them. Now, you saw, I asked the men going into court how you feel about your verdict. The rule of law has to be implemented equally across everything. Okay? It cannot be used to selectively target people to manipulate or interpret the law whatever way they want. Let me show you scenes from outside a courthouse in England 2 weeks ago.
Stop! Stop! Peter! 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 Look at that! Emma! What the hell? Peter! 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 Peter!
saying those people should go to jail, but I've done 2 prison sentences, 5.5 months of solitary confinement for asking someone how they feel about their verdict. The rule of law and the way the law has been used by the British state against myself is an embarrassment, I'd say. People across the world know that and they see it. But by removing my reach on social media prevents giving me the ability to counteract any... Ross Kent was doing a documentary. He's a British broadcaster. He's a famous documentary maker. Now, let me show you a headline. Front page of the newspaper. OAP beats up Tommy Robinson in jail. Let me show you the inside story. If you it's not just like there's a whole story here of how I acted, my mannerisms. I was being a bully to an old man. This paints, if you read this story, it paints a picture of the man I am, and it's certainly not who I am. And let me show you, I'll say again, guess what? It's a total lie. And thankfully, the documentary that was released last week on British media will show that.
So far, Belmarsh has kept Tommy Robinson safe, sound, and deprived of publicity. But that's just changed.
Tommy Robinson was punched in prison shower by a man aged 70.
I was only seeing him a couple of days ago. He said he's not going to let it down.
One of the prison officers asked what's going on, but he said he had slipped and no official report was made.
I imagine we would have heard about it. I'm surprised we never heard about it.
That's because the story's not true.
I'm going to have to talk to you about papers over the weekend. Maybe I sent to you, right? I thought better of you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so it frustrates me.
Look at that. If you act like you're the boss in here, they will take you down.
I've seen enough, haven't I haven't visually looked at anyone. Right, well, it's put my staff at risk, and there could be retribution in the wings of people thinking if that's happening, we're going to get a bit back tit for tat, which isn't good for me. As much as you can when you speak to people.
I've told everyone, I'm sure I've got my first visit tomorrow from a friend who will tell people.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, again, lies. What do you think about that? You're a journalist. What do you think about the fact that a picture, a newspaper story that's gone across the world again, because 3 other national newspapers run that story, is a total lie? Now, I read a lie like that every month, and I've done that for 10 years. Okay? Now, what are the repercussions? And again, I'll ask, what have I done? I've spoken about Islam. What's the repercussions of speaking about Islam? Of criticising, using my free speech and exercising my free speech to criticise. I had my PayPal closed down. Okay? Stripe closed down. Banned from Facebook. Banned from Instagram. Banned from Snapchat. Banned from YouTube. But it's not just those bans. I have problems in day-to-day life. I'll show you a couple of videos. This is me in a hotel. Excuse me. I'm asking you. What for? I've just been sat in the corner. You're discriminating against me because of my beliefs. Yes, you are.
Because you believe?
So
I'm asking to leave.
For what reason?
It's private property. And I would go to you, so I would like to leave.
Okay, well, I've got a cup of tea that I paid for, so I'm going to finish my cup of tea. Can you tell me the reason?
I've just told you that.
What's the reason I have to leave?
Because I've got you to leave.
Oh, for what reason?
That's the only reason I have to give you.
Because you're discriminating against me, because of my beliefs.
Not discriminating against your beliefs at all. I'm asking you to leave.
Okay, have I done anything wrong in this hotel?
I'm asking you to leave.
Have I done anything wrong in this hotel?
I'm asking you to leave. That's the end of the matter.
Have I done anything wrong in this hotel?
I'm asking you to leave.
What's your position in this hotel?
I'm the general manager.
The general manager.
End of the conversation.
So, it's not the end of the conversation, I think you need to speak, before I do get leave, I want to speak to your boss about this. Can you believe that?
Good afternoon. Hello. Are you happy to have this chat in front of everyone else, or we'll do it in private? Okay, there's been called here. This is the manager. Whatever reason, leave on that's not our jurisdiction. He wants you to leave.
What I said is, I'm concerned that this is a hateful.
Yep.
I believe this is a hateful. Yeah. What I said to the manager is, if you just give me the reason, I'll leave immediately. I believe I'm being tough. He discriminated against me.
Yeah. And I just want to know simple why. Tell me why. I'm just here. Did you want to give a reason? I believe you don't make a reason. Just why
That was Brent Cross Holiday Inn. Now, I was asked to leave. I'm now banned apparently from all their hotels. I was just sitting having a cup of hot chocolate. He rang 999. When the police got there, I asked them, because now in London they don't respond to burglaries. I said, what are you doing here? Like, there's no crime being committed. And you've responded because he said Tommy Robinson, and I know that's why they've responded, but this isn't just there. Here I am in Selfridges, which is a major store in London.
But so you won't serve me because you won't serve my friend because he's friends with me and I'm in the EDL. That's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? That's not speaking for. Yeah.
Anyway, I wasn't served there either. Here I am just last week trying to rent a vehicle. I can't rent a vehicle because I'm Tommy Robinson.
Not because you're Tommy Robinson, because you're a high figure, basically.
What does that mean?
Basically, I'm sure it's stipulated for our rental because you are basically such a high-end figure, so you are, whether you're worth a lot of money or whatever the case may be, it's just too much risk in case you were involved in an accident.
Who decides what high-end figure is?
It's just a generic terminology. So
who's your insurance company?
Insurance company.
Yeah.
Brokerage is.
He'd rented a vehicle to me before. He googled my name when I went in there. He said I'm a high-end figure. Okay? I'm just showing the social consequence of these lies. Now just to bring up to show you how often these lies are and how current these lies are told. Lord Greaves yesterday on one of the biggest national radio stations in the UK.
Oh, it's a trivial matter. So calling a member of the public a Nazi is a trivial matter. I think Tommy Robinson is a neo-Nazi.
I'm a neo-Nazi. No right to reply. I have no social media. Now, if people believe what they're told, just from what I had the time to show you today, I could do this for a week. I've been told today, you believe I planned a kidnap. You believe I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi. I celebrate Hitler. I'm far right. I call for the beheading of Muslims. I'm a woman beater, a drug dealer. I incite fear of Muslims, and I'm a sexual predator. Okay? Someone's going to cut and edit that last bit at some point, anyway. Now, the problem is, so, I don't blame some people who dislike me, but they're disliking me for lies, okay? Unless Europe sees unity. When it happened to Alex Jones, did you remain silent? When it happened to Gavin McInnes, did you remain silent? When it happened to Milo Yiannopoulos, did you remain silent? When Laura Loomer was deleted, did you remain silent? It's happened to me. I'm deleted from society. It's Tommy Robinson today, and it's you tomorrow. Unless we see unity from the populist leaders of Europe, the Danish People's Party to Viktor Orban, to Salvini, to Le Pen, to the AfD, to Vlaams Belang, to Geert Wilders, to the Swiss Democrats, unless all of them join and confront the issue of big tech censorship of Silicon Valley, unless President Trump steps in, unless something is done, then the future for generations. If we fail to challenge and expose the dangers of a globalist left-wing alliance today, we will end up surrendering our freedoms for future generations. I know, thank you, I had a great day. I know many of you would have liked to ask questions and answers. I believe we're in a rush to get away. I apologise for that because I believe we're on that TV show that deadline. So I apologise for that. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank everyone that's given me support at any time. I got a cartoon about KFC of some young girl who was in the room here when I was in jail. I know many of you people, it's a fulfilling feeling story. And yeah, I think we have a difficult time ahead, but
It's a fight we're all in, so thank you very much.